I think we're live, Mike.
You know it.
We couldn't just live with one person on the live stream.
No.
We figured out how to make two people show up.
Oh, let me center my... There we go. Now I'm looking at this sort of...
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome
Hey, everybody.
in, everybody. Yeah. Let them filter in on
All
Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. There we go.
There we go. We got Eric. Says,
What's
let's
up,
go.
Eric? Oh, no, this isn't a mock draft. We're answering questions. Remember the rules. If you compliment us in the questions, that's like step one.
Yeah, that's great. That's
And really, you don't have to go beyond that. Okay.
What do we got?
They're coming in. We got an important starter question.
Oh, that is very important. Donuts or churros?
Mike, I want to know your answer on this because I know donuts, you're more of a
I'm
traditionalist.
Yes, and I'm a traditionalist with the churros as well. I've done the Disneyland experience where they have hidden churro stands throughout the park where they have special flavors like
they hide them?
Like gingerbread. Well, it's not. They're all random. Like you don't know what's where, and they all have one special flavor at most. But
wow.
I like the regular ones. So it's like a peak churro versus a peak Krispy Kreme glazed donut.
Ooh. I'm going to go peak churro.
Yeah. The problem is it would have to be donuts. It would have to be multiple donuts for sure because a glazed or a Krispy Kreme goes down in approximately 2.5 seconds.
Which one goes bad?
I eat
quicker?
like a snake. I eat a Krispy Kreme just is, and it's in me. I'm going churros.
Max wants to know: can we order the footballer's helmet that's in the middle of the? It is.
That one?
It's available. It's $999,000.
So that we'll sell you ours. This is gonna be real expensive.
We actually have looked into doing some mini helmets, which I thought that was happening, but I haven't got an update on that yet. So this is an important one, Mike. Do you have any thoughts on this question?
Oh, on bringing back this. Chad wants Andy to bring back the stash.
Chad, I thought about it a little bit.
Oh, did you?
I did. I don't know. Quarantine does things to a man.
Well, look, like my beard is gone. I just got to the point where I was like, I'm cutting my beard off.
I mean, you just do stuff because it's different, man.
We had a point where I was trying to find the proper level for my beard.
Yes.
And 3 days in a row, I showed up with a shorter beard.
It was weird, man. And we'd be like, wait, something's a little different. Oh, it's just getting a little bit shorter every day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to hang out on here for as long as we have the endurance. This is day 4 of 5 straight live stream days. And hyped. I thought I was hopping on by myself. Last minute, Mike's like, yo, let's see if we can get both of us on there.
It's called a duet, as the TikTok community.
Yeah, that's right. We're duetting.
It's a live duet.
And we're encouraging everybody to check out the Ultimate Draft Kit now that there's basically just more than a month before the season gets kicked off. Maybe they were pumping the brakes before the season, training camp and all that stuff, and now they need to catch up and get ready to go. And
the new top-tier running back in town.
Oh, goodness. Mike, have you recovered from your...
No.
I haven't even looked at all these questions, but they're flying in, and I'm guessing 50% Clyde Edwards-Helaire questions. Yeah, here we go. Well, I'm going to try to find as many Clyde questions to kick this thing off as I can.
Yes.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Chubb?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
It's going to be... You guys should put up not only player comparisons, but like just other parts of life.
Clyde Edwards or Diamond Ring.
Yeah. Or fighter jets. Yeah. Okay, let's see what other Clyde Edwards-Helaire questions. We both say Clyde on that one. Mm-hmm. It's the passing volume opportunity for him.
Yes.
So, got somebody.
What did you project him for in targets?
I felt like I was a little bit conservative. Let me pull it up. I think his receptions were around 50.
Okay.
His targets were probably in the 70 range at that point.
Yeah, I've got him down for 72 targets, which that might be conservative. That might be low.
How much of being a fantasy analyst is pumping the brakes on something? 71 targets, 50 receptions, 439 yards. One thing we were talking about in the studio yesterday actually on Slack was, Patrick Mahomes, he picked 2 of his 3 running backs in the room. right now because
it seems like it.
It seems like it because DeAndre Washington actually played with him in Texas at Texas Tech, and DeAndre Washington has been involved in the passing game before in Oakland. So you've got Darwin who can catch the ball downfield. There were some examples of him kind of coming on later. You've got DeAndre, and then you've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire because Patrick Mahomes, if he doesn't have the option to throw a wheel for a 90-yard touchdown on every play, he throws a fit.
I would too. If I could throw a ball 90 yards in the air,
oh my God.
You need to give me players that are 90 yards down the field.
So is there any chance because the other guys, like if it was Darrell, right? If Darrell Williams was the alternate to Clyde, you could easily kind of formulate, okay, maybe Darrell gets a goal line carry, maybe he gets a fourth down carry, but he's not involved in the passing game the way Clyde is. Is there a chance that Darwin and DeAndre actually stifled those?
Not really, not for me. Because
I'd try it.
Because even Damian was the goal line guy. Like Darrell Williams, I guess Damian is a pretty beefy dude. Like you feel like he's small, but he's actually much larger. But even with him on the team, they didn't go to Darrell at the goal line. So trying not to get too excited by Edwards-Helaire it's difficult.
And it's funny. I was watching some Darwin film, and I know he's smaller, but it's because he's 5'8". He's over 200 pounds. He's not as
what? Really?
Yeah, he's not as small.
I don't remember that.
He didn't look as small on film as kind of how we had envisioned him coming into the year. And I running inside, he didn't look like he was a teeny tiny guy. So
he's over 200.
Here's a tough one.
Okay.
Oh wait, we didn't answer this one from Jack. we just mused on Clyde. That's what hype Edwards-Helaire is all about.
Yeah.
Loving the hat, Mike. Okay.
Oh, thank
you. There you go. Rank these running backs in PPR: Clyde, Drake, Mixon, and Aaron Jones.
All right, I would go Clyde, Jones, and then Mixon and Drake is tough for me. I have Mixon ranked ahead right now, but I think I have Drake just too low.
That's funny. These four guys, I have Clyde at 7, and then I have Mixon, Jones, Drake at 9, 10, 11. So
they're all very, very close.
Yeah, really close. Really, really close. All right, I've got to find the question I was about to throw up there. Another Clyde question. It's the Clyde hour. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Jacobs. This was the tough part of breaking down Clyde for me. I have Jacobs one spot higher, but Jacobs has been my banner guy for.
So you're really bullish on him then, because that would put him at 6 for you.
Yeah, he's the guy that I think can make the big tier jump this year.
Well, to your credit, and Jason, this is Jason's stat, which I'm sure he will bring up on the show, because I mentioned Michael Gallup as a sophomore receiver who hit the 1,100-yard mark. And if you go look at the sophomores who have done that since the year 2000, it is an unbelievable hit rate of success for these players. Jason went and looked, just same number, but rookie running backs that hit 1,100 rushing yards. He said there is a very noticeable jump in targets for almost all of them. Like where if you're talking 1,100 and maybe they were in the 20 reception range, growth in the offense more, or they're just on the field more. But he said other than like Jeremy Hill, these are guys who saw a significant rise in target share. So which would be historically good for Jacobs.
Getting into the head of John Gruden is not something I recommend.
Don't do that, man.
But
hey, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a Gruden.
Yeah, I know. We got to work
time.
on that. You got to get the big ring on your finger too. You got to show that off.
You got to get this face.
Hey, man.
Let me tell you what, man.
Let me tell you what. That's right. You just have to have 3 or 4 lines to go.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Caliendo has proven that, and every time Caliendo does it, it's funny.
It's still funny. But getting, just looking kind of.
No, I just look like a
narratives.
I got to work on spend some time in the mirror.
Got to work on it, man.
What do you want, man? I can't do it.
I know you, but it's fun to try, and it's always good to try live. That's the big key.
It's me, John Gruden.
You know what, man? Oh, this has changed things. I was going to say that basically they were managing some help with Jacobs last year. So you wonder if their narrative street, of course, he came in as this guy that we thought wouldn't get the ball between the tackles, ends up not getting it through the air. So
that was weird, yeah.
All right, here's a more difficult question. This is looking at the cross-positional Clyde Edwards-Helaire questions. I did see one that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Omaha Steaks.
Ooh, got to meet yourself.
Got to meet yourself, as they say. What about Davante Adams if you're looking at this cross-positional?
I did realize that this wasn't brought up of like just overall because I said, he's my number 5 running back. He is my number 5 pick.
Is he?
Yeah, I will take him, and then let me pull up my running backs here. So I got Edwards, then I would go Kamara, and that's where my running back to wide receiver kind of breaks because Derrick Henry is my next guy, but I am perfectly happy taking Michael Thomas or Davante Adams, or even if you want to take Julio, by all means take Julio Jones, but I'm willing to take one of those wide receivers there at pick 7 in front of Derrick.
Well, now, I mean, I know you hated Davante Adams until Devin Funchess got out of the way, Mike.
Of course.
Now it's
just went back up.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire or a third freezer in your garage. Nice.
Ooh.
Nice callback to the show.
I see Kenny, Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Chuck Norris.
Ooh. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I've seen Chuck. He's getting up there, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to defeat the final enemy.
Gardner kind of took over for him for those jokes.
That's right. CEH or Miles. I think we both have Clyde higher than Miles. Here's a question. Does the strength of schedule not scare you for Clyde at all?
It does not, and I will tell you why for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Reason number 1 is Andy Reid. Reason number 2 is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, those are pretty good reasons. I mean,
when you're an elite quarterback, you don't care about.
Well, and he's a pass schedule, and you're immune to the
game script is not a problem.
Yeah, this is one that we both went the Cook side on.
Yeah, I do have Cook ahead for now, but yes, Dalvin Cook is ahead.
Important question: how was lunch yesterday? I guess I was kind of closing down the stream with a run off to lunch. It was all right. I'm going to be honest with you.
You guys just some Boston market, right?
Yeah, Jason talked me into it. He's a big Boston market guy.
I really like Boston market. It's good.
Yeah, the chicken was better than the turkey. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I grabbed a Chipotle.
Let's just put it that way, man.
I finally, I was able to get out of the house yesterday to come in for the show, so I grabbed a Chipotle, masked up, picked it up.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's good stuff. Let's go ahead. Should we answer a question that's not related to Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the question.
Probably.
How about DJ Moore?
Okay.
Cooper Kupp or Juju Smith-Schuster?
I have them DJ Moore. I mean, DJ Moore is my wide receiver 7. I am very, very bullish on him. And then I have it ranked Juju followed by Cooper Kupp. Juju is he is so difficult to rank because your faith is really shook in him as a player. But Juju Smith-Schuster was hurt last year. I don't remember what game it was. I should look up what game he got hurt. And then he had just some of the worst quarterbacks in the league. You know what he can do, but that's man.
I know
it's rough to actually click the draft button on Juju, knowing the other guys who are around him. I'm sure you're going when you make that decision of I'm going to take Juju. You're taking him over Amari Cooper, and you're taking him over Adam Thielen, guys like that. I would imagine they're in the same range. Maybe I'm way off on. I'll pull up some best ball ADP.
Thielen sounds like that's pretty likely. Probably not Cooper, but I have him ranked lower, and you draft these 3
Talking about
players.
Juju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Juju ranked lower than others do, but it's just a matter of when I see these 3 names and I draft this player where they're going, how confident do I feel that I can lock him into that position?
Right.
I feel like I can lock Moore in there. I feel like I can lock Kupp in there. Who I have Kupp ahead of Moore, but they're pretty close. And then Juju a little bit lower. But then what you said is crazy because his ceiling on that 1 year was so high that you can't forget that.
Yes. The ADP right now it goes Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Juju, Adam Thielen.
So Juju's going ahead of DJ Moore?
No, DJ Moore is number 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that those three guys where I was saying I think you're making the decision between the three guys, you probably are.
Yeah. Let me see here. I see a Ninja Turtle question coming up here.
Fire it up.
No, it's just a comment. Raphael is the best Ninja Turtle. I think I had ranked them yesterday. I was trying to get. Remember, I told you I was trying to get Brooks to participate, and I couldn't get him in there. I eventually got him to admit Michelangelo is his favorite Ninja Turtle.
Oh, it's because Brooks is basic.
My favorite is Michelangelo.
You're all basic.
But I feel like from when you look at the personality, like you're a Raph. I mean, you just are Raph.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know if you would be you if Raph wasn't Raph. Like I feel like you saw Raph and you're like, that's me.
It's really a chicken or egg thing because I was not drawn to Raphael because of red, like of the colors, like the boy colors, quote unquote, of like blue, red. Like I don't really like red very much. As I'm wearing like a rust colored shirt, but it was the size. It was such an interesting weapon where Donatello is just a stick. I mean,
Donatello, the stick argument put him dead, like at the basement for me. I didn't like Raph's attitude, but you want bad attitude or do you want boring?
Yeah.
Donatello was like,
he does machines, but you have the stick. I don't know. So it was the weapons that made me like Raphael. I was going to say it was probably
the weapons for any person. They were just picking the weapon they liked. And I love the nunchucks because
the nunchucks are sweet.
I like to think of myself more as the Leonardo, but I went with Michelangelo. So, all right. Because I feel like Leonardo would ruin the fun sometimes. And I feel like I would ruin the fun sometimes. All right. Apples or oranges?
Ooh.
I'm apples.
It's apple.
Oh, somebody did ask, and some of these questions are flying by really quickly, but they were asking if I've seen the name float around because everybody wants to make the Devontae Freeman to someplace. They were talking about Kansas City. What would that do for your Clyde Edwards-Helaire situation?
I would not be concerned about it.
I would point people towards LaShawn McCoy.
Yes.
Arriving to Kansas City last year and how that affected very little. Besides Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which rookie running back sees the most volume?
Well, I mean, Taylor would be the obvious one, but is there
somebody else in there?
Is there anyone else? Yeah, that you have the confidence that a little bit more than Taylor.
By the way, I just got an alert that said we've received 1,000 questions so far.
Oh my goodness!
So, is there a
Clyde filter? Does this say 95% are Clyde Edwards-Helaire questions?
There's some Clyde Drexel in there, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
Clyde the Glide or Clyde Edwards. But what were we talking about?
Rookie running backs getting volume.
Oh, okay. Other than Jonathan, yeah. I mean, Cam Akers could get a decent amount of volume.
Oh yeah. I kind of talked myself into Cam Akers during that
on the show
on the divisional breakdown.
Yeah. When you start thinking more about who they have and what they can do, but it hurts me because I did like Darrell Henderson coming into the NFL.
That's the counterpoint to the argument where I was kind of making of it was their first pick. It was the second rounder. They have, other needs. It seems strange to go to running back. They've kind of wasted picks before. Yeah. like Gerald Everett, where I mean, I like the player. Honestly, I still think Gerald Everett could break out in the NFL, but he was Sean McVay's first pick, and he is yet to really try to unleash him. A game here and there this season, finally, but I don't know. Offensively, they haven't made necessarily the greatest draft picks.
I've seen a flurry of folks that have made that. We've gotten thousands of these questions over the months of trades for the 101 and rookie drafts, and people that have made that plunge or made that transaction, and they're dancing in the streets after this situation.
Yes,
because I mean, I remember us talking on the show about Clyde and how I was kind of coming around to him before Damian news. I was like, man, this may not take as long as we think. And it's not going to take as long. So.
Yeah, I felt like my team went from halfway through the season. I'll also show some signs of life, and then next year I'll compete to, dude, if Clyde Edwards comes through as a top 5 running back, all of a sudden my team can compete again because he'll be that much of an advantage.
Yeah, imagine the Kareem Hunt year. If you had
Exactly.
him, yeah, I mean, it's like we're there. By the way, the second this news broke, we were changing our projections for Kansas City. We were updating the Ultimate Draft Kit video profiles. If you're joining us for the first time, you're seeing this live on wherever, Twitter, on YouTube, check out the Ultimate Draft Kit. We keep it updated all off season. When changes happen, when things go on, I'm sure we'll be updating it a lot over this next week. If we get more opt-outs that have big fantasy implications, I mean, we're all waiting for it. And, sometimes there's the opt-out of the player that you have on your roster, and sometimes there's the guy that gets off the roster for you. And it's fun to look at the impact, and lots is changing this year. So, all right, let's jump it back into some more questions. What do you think of this one?
Is Bell an RB1? I had him sitting at 12 for a long time. I have bumped him down now to 15. I really do believe that Le'Veon Bell can bounce back. That was such a horrifically bad year for him in his terms, efficiency, no rushing touchdowns, and he was still chilling there just on the fringe of becoming an RB1. So I don't think it takes much of an improvement for the Jets for Bell to hit there, unless Adam Gase puts Frank Gore in the game a whole bunch.
I won't remember.
He might.
Yeah, I mean, he's Adam Gase, so he does what he wants. You're right, though. I mean, Lev Bell's interesting because we've talked a lot about like the Leonard Fournette touchdown, positive regression stuff with him just being that outlier of so many opportunities. Bell and Fournette are pretty side by side in that category of players that opportunities to fantasy points didn't hit the normal of last year. So it's definitely possible. I don't have them ranked there right now, but
do you have Le'Veon Bell higher or David Johnson higher?
They're back to back. I have David Johnson one higher, and I saw pictures of DJ in the new digs today. The Houston,
I'm probably looking super swole because
he always looks.
But so David Johnson is the perfect name I want to that I would counter people when they don't want Le'Veon Bell on your team, but they're somewhat interested in David Johnson.
Right.
I'm like, oh, dude, it was rough on the field. Yeah, fantasy he was coming through because he's catching passes on a high volume offense, but he physically, it seems like some skills have deteriorated. Where to me, what happened to Le'Veon Bell was not necessarily on Bell; it was on the team and on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's true.
And his volume should be there. Should.
Yeah, it should. It's hard to choose between any of those guys in that tier for me. When I look at the Lev Bell, David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, those three in particular.
Which is why I love loading up on two of the running backs who are in
ahead of that,
above them. And then
Eckler, Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake.
I think Drake is probably the end of that tier for me until I'm fully confident in Chris Carson. Then he'll be right back into that not third tier, but I guess just off the top of my head thinking about it in tiers of the first tier ends with Kamara, and then it ends at Eckler, and then it ends at Chris Carson.
I had to throw this one up there for you, Mike. I thought it might be an encouragement.
Oh, Chad, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I have been busting behind.
Oh, I thought you'd just been shaving 1 extra inch off your beard every day to get a little bit skinnier.
I tried that, but I haven't.
I know it. I know you have. You've been working
the beach body.
Is that? Are you worried about losing the conviction when you're back to 5 days next
it's going to be rough because I can't work out in the morning, dude. I have
not
tried.
Earlier than we record. I mean,
no. Well, early. I mean, this would be. I'd have to wake up at 5:30 and work out, and a lot of people can do that.
I'd pay money to watch you try. I know Mike, the morning guy. And I mean, hey, credit to Mike. for not being a morning guy. 5 straight years of getting up and locking it down for the show every single day.
Terrible.
But the process of getting from wake up on the pillow to in the seat, that's not one that Mike. It's not part of your internal clock.
It's an Iron Maiden every day.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump back in here. Is Mike in a band?
Tucker? No. I was in many bands as a young version of myself, but don't really have time for a band.
Just the fantasy footballers.
Yeah. I mean, where I'm in a 3-man band, we don't play music.
We do tour.
We do. We do tour.
Can Cam Newton finish as a top 5 quarterback? Can he? Yeah. Top 5, I would give him the possibility.
Yes. You can't rule when in his range of outcomes is wide receivers going down on the 2-yard line, and then he decides that he's going to score, and that just you have like a weird variance of that. Yes, he could finish as a top 5 guy. Not likely.
There are certain guys that couldn't. Would you say like Gardner couldn't?
No, I would not. I would not say Gardner could be a top 5 guy.
So having that ceiling possible is, it's fun with the late round quarterback that you got the chance to do that with. Let's go ahead and. Well, I don't want to ask that question there. There are a lot of Adam Gase related insults, and I'm having to be careful.
Yeah.
Do you guys have interns at the FF Ballers?
Not currently. We have had. Oh wait, no.
We do.
Slay, because he's not in office.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's weird.
I was thinking of Baby Josh. We had him. No, we do. We have an intern who is call him Mad Dog, and he is a beast on the social media. He's crushing, man.
That's absolutely right. And whether he sees this or not, we'll see if he's a beast.
What's his YouTube channel?
Let me get the handle.
Yeah, pull him up. He does Ultimate Madden.
I think it's Madden Slay. But I'm gonna double check on it.
Well, if you're into Ultimate Madden, you got to check this dude out.
He's
just great.
It's just Slay.
The channel is Slay?
Yeah.
That's elite.
So if you search YouTube for Slay, that's one of our interns. And we've probably had 4.
Yeah,
lifetime,
maybe.
Something like that.
We had one that was like a 2-weeker, and then he dropped out.
That's right. No, we've had maybe 5. We've had a few. But is there In-N-Out in Arizona?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. And look, I've seen the people on socials on Twitter who think they're being so cool, and you're talking to the king of the contrarians here. But they think they're so contrarian. In-N-Out, it's not that good. You're dumb. In-N-Out the burgers are delicious. Look, the fries aren't my favorite fast food fries.
Which is funny because I really love the fries, but
that's how good the burger is. Like, I will get the animal style fries. Their burger it's the best drive-through fast food burger. And the people who just like, oh, it's so meh, because they think they're being cool joining that club, get out of here.
The food elite, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Ryan wants to know Tyree Hill or DeAndre Hopkins.
It's Tyreek Hill in my rankings, but Hopkins.
Does it change in a full PPR? Would you flip to Hopkins in a full PPR? Because I think I would.
Possible.
I think
that's very possible. But do you have Tyreek in half point?
In a half point, I have them 2 spots apart. So pretty close, but. Did Anthony Miller disappear as a potentially huge value?
He just got wrecked by Trubisky. Like, you had such massive
injuries.
Regression. Yeah, Miller's a great player. He is a late round sleeper that I can endorse.
Yeah. Here's a good question from Boo. What's up, Boo? How long do you hold a guy waiting for a breakout before you move on? This is actually a great question because, in draft season, you've got those flyers.
Right.
That even, and the worst is when they are hype trained guys for the entire offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And all the stats are made up in your head about what they're going to do. So how do you say goodbye to the potential of a player
Right.
3 or 4 weeks into the season. Like maybe Watkins might be a bad example because he blew up in week 1. But
that was even worse.
That made it worse.
You just kept believing. It's week 9. You're like, hey, remember week 1?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he proves it. He could do it.
Yeah. How long do you wait? Man, it's really case by case. I don't think I can give a blanket statement here because I've had guys that I've held too long. I've had guys I held too little. But then I've had players like Jeremy Hill, where his rookie year, I drafted him. I had him everywhere because I so strongly believed in his potential, and it took till week 9 or whatever it was, but then Jeremy Hill was a league-winning running back that people couldn't get off waivers because I had been holding on to him for so long, and maybe that one instance has ruined where I'm like, I'll hold on for a really long time. So it's case by case. It comes down to how much do I really believe in that player.
You guys think Damian Williams is droppable in a dynasty league?
Oh,
this is
man.
Timely question because we tweaked him in dynasty leagues yesterday.
I hate to say it, but I think probably yes. He's 20, so he'll be 29 in April, heading into next year. Clyde Edwards, he can't hold off Clyde Edwards-Helaire anymore because it's going to be his job heading into next year.
His success was predicated on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, so you can't imagine, him going someplace else and getting a feature role or a role where he can be so efficient with the targets. I think saying droppable, you got to be so far down the list in dynasty to be droppable based on roster sizes. So, if you have to, I don't think it's going to hurt you.
I'm saying, if there's, let's say, one of the rookies, the interesting rookies, is on your waiver wire, like one of the Patriots tight ends. They drafted 2 in the 3rd round. You want to take a shot on one of those guys. You don't have the spot. Yes, I would drop Damian for a higher draft capital rookie right now.
Nate Corning wants to know who let the dogs out.
My children, because they have Just Dance. They got it on the Switch. For some reason, Just Dance
that one plays a lot.
Has Who Let the Dogs Out on there. So that song has been heard quite a few times in quarantine.
Don't you? Isn't that another word for your feet? Letting the dogs out? You heard that expression?
Yeah, well, I haven't heard it as Who Let the Dogs Out, but you say my dogs are barking.
Okay, that's what I was just going to try to trace this back to Jason and the fact that
those are his piggies.
I've never seen him not wear flip-flops. It feels like even if we're in a cold weather city, he's flip-flopping around. He don't care. He lets the dogs out. Kyler Murray or Cortland Sutton in a keeper league. So I think we had a question on the show. It was a Footcast. It was a Footcast on jointhefoot.com. And it was a question about, the 5th round value of Mr. Kyler Murray. Do you believe that the future could be very bright for Cortland Sutton with Drew Lock, and could he be the alpha there for years to come?
That 1,100-yard marker that I've been talking about for Michael Gallup, Cortland Sutton is also in that group of sophomore receivers who hit the 1,100-yard mark. He's really good, and it's hard to completely write him off. I mean, he's really written off in my rankings, unfortunately. I keep trying to figure out how I can get him ranked higher, but I don't have faith in what their offense is going to be in Drew Lock to sustain Cortland Sutton for what he should be. And I feel like I'm going to be wrong on that one.
It's difficult. It's a difficult situation. They they spent the money on Melvin Gordon. We got Judge Judy there.
Sutton's so good, man.
He's very good. He's very good. And it would be unfair of me to criticize any recency bias about the formation changes with the Rams and then hold recency bias against Drew Lock and Cortland Sutton because of the end of their season. I mean, there are so many things that go into a 5 or 6 game stretch. And when you have a rookie quarterback, you got no other targets than Sutton. I don't want to hold too much of that against Cortland Sutton just from the production side because he's a super talented player. He's the most experienced, probably the most talented player that they have at wide receiver, and it's just a matter of Drew Lock taking the step forward consistently, not giving you like Cortland Sutton's a top 12 guy every third week and then just disappears.
And they won. They won with this methodology of Drew Lock. I feel like Lock was 4-1 or something. I'm pulling it up right now.
He was.
Yeah, Drew Lock was 4-1 as a starter.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Question: Judy, Justin Jefferson, or CeeDee? So the three rookies seems like it fits in there.
Yeah, I'm still CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Judy, Justin Jefferson.
Are you? You're CeeDee number one, huh?
Yeah, and that comes down to quarterback. I know that CeeDee is behind on the depth chart. Like Judy has a much better opportunity right out of the gate.
So might Jefferson.
Sure. Yeah.
I like his quarterback, so that's who I'll go with.
Ooh, wow, that's a spicy take. That's over Judy.
Neck and neck.
Caliente.
Very important note.
Oh, here. Lauren, look, I'm not besmirching him. I'm saying
it's a little TBD.
I am. I'm besmirching him. I lean on the side that he's not going to be that good.
Do you think Drew Lock? I mean,
I've lost you.
You have more confidence in. You can't see me right now.
Oh no.
Oh, Mike is totally live and has no idea. This is great. This is the best thing. Mike is live. Can't see me. Can't hear me. This is great. He's completely lost. That's fine. I can answer questions. He's going to jump back in here in a second. But the top 5 guitarists question, that one's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to save that one for Mike. Looking at Carson, Gurley, or Leonard Fournette. PPR league, I'll take Carson. I'll take Carson, then it's kind of a toss-up between the other two guys. This is that time of year when players are getting into camp, and it's going to say a lot about the rotations in the backfield. Is Fournette going to be all alone again? He was so good last year after this history of not really having the ability to catch the ball, and then all of a sudden he's throwing the ball all the time as this default piece of the puzzle. So, and then you have Devonta Freeman's history in Atlanta and getting the ball thrown his way. So I guess I would lean Gurley, but I'll take Carson above all of them. So here's a big boy question. Trevor Lane wants to know, and I don't know if Mike's going to make it back in here. He says the computer seems to be on the fritz. So we'll see. We'll see if Mike gets back in. But will Baker bounce back? I don't know. I'm a little concerned. Last year was rough. I mean, there's plenty of statistical categories where Baker was pretty much the worst quarterback in football last season. So is the offensive line improved? I think you have to ask that question at the same time as the will Baker bounce back. They're trying to fix it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it doesn't. So I think we got Mike back. Let's see. I think you're back, Mike.
That was weird. I had to reboot my whole browser.
But yeah, you're here. This is a perfect question. If you can hear me, right?
Oh, what's up, Trevor? Yeah. I can hear you.
Will Baker bounce back?
I believe that Baker will bounce back. He is in a very good system for that to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying the offensive line is going to play a big role, it feels like, because he struggled under pressure.
And it just, you don't have like a huge history of Baker at all, but in the few years that he has played, and I'm including college, like that was by far the worst Baker you have ever seen. So it's strange for it to come there. You know what I mean? Like, I think he will bounce back. I think he'll be solid.
It does. It should kind of have some dynasty Baker owners quaking in their boots, because if you can't do it with Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Kareem Hunt, then you're in trouble. I mean, you've 2 years in a row, and you're going to be wondering if he's the future anymore. We're back into the same.
Well, and you have the hobbled Odell Beckham is a real thing. Did I trim my beard today? I did not. which like, oh, this is good. I need a haircut, my man.
He didn't trim the hair, that's for sure.
No, but Matt Harmon's reception perception write up of Odell Beckham, he said, like, just watching Odell Beckham, he does not look like the player that I've charted, which leads me to believe that the injury he was playing with was really hampering him, and his RP numbers went way down, where historically Beckham dominates in that methodology. So I believe that Odell will bounce back as well.
You have a Super Bowl pick yet?
Ooh, I don't. I mean, that's wild. I haven't sat down and it's.
I think I liked Seattle. I mean, I hate Seattle. I mean, I'm a Cardinal fan, but I like Seattle from
the trade pushes them over the bump.
Well, I mean, I think I picked them as the NFC representatives, and now they picked up Jamal Adams. It's like,
yeah, it's pretty nice. I will go.
Russ was ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes in those NFL Network rankings. What do you think of that? Those are voted for.
Honestly, that doesn't like make me real mad. Russell Wilson's very, very good, but I will take Kansas City. They make it back because they've got the defense in Mahomes, and they'll be playing and losing to the Arizona Cardinals. And Kyler Murray.
Thank you.
Who is the league MVP,
Super Bowl MVP as well. Yes.
Look, at this point, the people who were saying Lamar Jackson was going to be the MVP, we're going, what? What are you talking about?
Who gets the most chicks? Andy, Mike, or Jason? We all get the same amount. We're all married. We all have one.
I thought it was a question about like who farms chickens.
Oh, is this going to be the next big question right here, Mike?
Yeah. Look, I've seen it going around, and I don't like playing the opt-out game. These dudes are making
get uncomfortable, don't you?
Well, because these guys are making health decisions.
Of course.
I don't fault any of them at all, so I'm not rooting for anybody to opt out.
That's a fair, that's a good attitude. So
let's just say next year, Mac is not on the team anymore. It's Jonathan Taylor versus Clyde Edwards. Yes, Taylor has the ability to beat out Clyde Edwards in fantasy, but again, it's all about the targets. They're just so much more valuable than carries. How much passing work will Taylor get?
Yeah, can he or will he is a different question.
Yes.
I would still have Clyde ranked higher.
A lot of people are on the Jonathan Taylor side, though.
Okay. All right. Thoughts on Mark Ingram with Dobbins, and is Justice Hill an afterthought?
Hill is an afterthought now. I mean, he was already a bit of a longer shot last year. I think it was a 4th-round pick. But it's Mark Ingram to me this year. And then presumably it will be Dobbins. But Mark Ingram, watch him on the field. I know he got banged up at the end of the year. And he is getting older, but I still believe it's Mark Ingram's backfield to be the primary touchdown scoring player.
This is such an important question coming up, Mike. Hope you know the right answer.
I do. Which baller is the best basketball player? From Jason Fantasy Sports.
Listen.
Overall player, like, because
I will beat him, Mike.
I know. Look, I'm trying to break down, the factors of a good basketball player. Like, the better shooter is Andy. You do have height, so you can rebound, but Jace is just he's
got the beef.
He's shockingly athletic. He can bully you out of the way.
Yeah,
he could probably back you down pretty well.
I've been trying to solicit a 7-game series with him for a while. You want to get some YouTube content? Just film 7 one-on-one games to 11. Let's go.
I want to see how you both hold up with the gas tank.
The worst? Yeah, that will be bad. Be bad.
Game 3 is just you laying on the ground throwing the ball.
Actually, you're not wrong. That will be terrible. I will be in pain, and so will he. And here's the funny thing. It's like we're both so competitive. I still remember to this day, we were in, you remember the beach race? So we went out to Malibu, California. We had a live show in L.A. We filmed a beach race, which you can find on YouTube, with our producers. But before that, we went out and we swam. And we're about, I don't know, let's be honest, it was only like 50 yards from the shore or something. maybe less. We're jumping waves and stuff. And somebody says, hey, I challenge you, like Jason and I, let's go. A race to the shore. So we're running in the water. We went all out and we were dead for days. I mean, just dead for days. Your adrenaline, when it comes to one-on-one against Jason, it's infinite. So, yeah, there are a bunch of people talking about if this player dropped out, if that player dropped out, if this player. I mean, yeah. I mean, if Mark Ingram dropped out and J.K. Dobbins is the runner for one of the better running teams in football, that would change things too.
Yeah, he would go way up the rankings.
If all your competition goes away, you're going to be.
Yes, your odds have improved. That is correct.
Jason is like RBC's got the meat. Yeah, that's true. Someone wants us to have the
basketball
game turn. Look, it's an open invite. My biggest problem with Jason when I play him in basketball is that, see, if I can back Jason down. I don't know if you know that. I can back Jason down.
Impressive.
And I'm tall enough to like.
Well, when's the last time you guys played? Are
you before he bulked?
Yes, because his legs got very strong. I know he hasn't been holding up on keeping all the muscle, but
sure. And I mean, maybe I can't, but I feel like I won't take the shortcut scores with him. Like, I'm taller than him. I should be able to just back him down and lay the ball up, but he's probably not hearing any of this. So you just got to troll him on Twitter at JasonFFL.
Call him a coward.
Yeah, please do.
If you want the video, call him a coward.
That's A plus B. I mean,
he's got some Marty McFly in there.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking of. You yella. Can Cam Akers be a running back too?
Yes.
Sure. Will he be? Probably.
That's
probably.
The question is Henderson. What does people loved Darrell Henderson? I loved Darrell Henderson coming into the draft, and then the landing spot was solid. It was, oh crap, are they worried about Todd Gurley? And then Henderson couldn't get on the field. So what does he actually have?
It's that rookie question mark of, can you pass protect? They throw the ball more than anybody in football last year. Who's going to be on the field keeping Jared Goff upright? Because when Jared Goff is upright, he's a good quarterback. So, Clyde?
I would probably go the elite wide
receiver. In a dynasty startup, I think I would too. How do you feel about Melvin Gordon? Feel about the way I feel about David Johnson?
I'd rather have David Johnson.
Yeah, you're kind of more out on Melvin, which than we are.
He's a fine low tier RB2.
Nirvana or Foo Fighters?
Oof. The Foo Fighters catalog is just so wide as far as what they were at the beginning when Dave Grohl did. I don't know if you realize this trivia fact, but on their first album, that's all Dave Grohl. Like, that's not a band. That's Dave Grohl playing all the instruments.
On the first Nirvana album?
No, on the first Foo Fighters album.
Oh, okay.
No, Nirvana is Cobain, but I'm saying, like, they were, a grunge rock band, and they are not. That is not who they are anymore.
So you have to almost put Foo Fighters into a time window.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Which
I'm taking Foo Fighters, man. I'm taking Foo Fighters. I know that the Nirvana people will call that sacrilegious, but
I like Foo Fighters more.
Yeah, I have no problem with Nirvana, but I'll take Foo Fighters.
This is 16-0, right? 16.
Well, look, we have to be not biased, so we'll go 14-2. I love Michael
Keaton. Yeah, I tried my best. Where was that? Where we were syncing up though? That was ridiculous.
Oh, that just happened.
Yeah, what was that?
I think it's on a Spitballers episode that'll be out in.
That's right.
The
in
future
6 weeks. That's our way of saying we pre-recorded a few Spitballers episodes because we know football, like August, September for us, schedule-wise.
It's insane.
It's wild. We're 5 days a week. So if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, go subscribe to the podcast. We are 1 hour a week. Well, we're syndicated on SiriusXM, and then we're 1 hour a week live show on Thursdays on SiriusXM, starting very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike's got his Sunday live as well. Mm-hmm. We've got the Footcast for the Foot Clan over at jointhefoot.com. And look, we love it. It's a simultaneous, like, it's not really even love-hate. It's just like love-sleep, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
it's a marathon.
And there's kind of good and bad to it. Like when we do off-season shows, we do fewer shows, but they're different. Like you're doing a lot of like predictions and analytics on projections. The in-season shows, there's a lot of quantity, but like the NFL's happening and you're talking about players on the field, which I can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I like about this, even though obviously Damian opted out and there's that side of it. This news was like the first big piece of like fantasy
it was
news.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah. And based on these questions, it's still very fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Put it into perspective here. And I don't know how long you want to go, Mike. I don't know how much longer we've got, but
we're doing all right.
you can let me know in the old Slackaroo.
All right.
How do you feel about Will Fuller's breakout potential? It's a different way to put it versus like, do you view that as him establishing himself as the one on the team?
You can view it that he could break out. I think we've seen enough from Will Fuller to know that like, Watson will give him high volume, and he's the guy he's comfortable with. Other than that, you have two brand new wide receivers for the team. But the dude, his body doesn't want to play football, which is really unfortunate. But someone, I feel pretty confident saying that someone from this wide receiver core is going to have a lot of value, and not just like I'm not going to play the game where they're all going to be part of it. No, I think someone will emerge as the number one. Is it Fuller? Is it Cooks? That's the part I do not know, and I don't know at what point in a draft I'm willing to gamble on it.
And I don't know if it's helpful, but if you could guarantee me 16 games from both players, I would pick Will Fuller.
I would pick Will Fuller.
He's got the rapport. He's shown us elite production at times.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can just bump that volume up and he stays healthy, it's just like how long does Will Fuller have to stay healthy? Like how many years before you stop worrying about that factor?
2.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a while. Here's a good one because I saw we both replied to Mr. Robert Woods on Twitter yesterday saying underrated.
Yes.
And always. I know you love DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. I have Woods higher. I'm guessing you have Moore higher?
I do have DJ Moore higher, yes. Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. That answers that
question. But still love Robert Woods, man. Always underrated.
Are you worried about the Mixon contract at all?
No.
I am not either. And if you noticed, holdouts didn't materialize for Dalvin and Mr. Mixon.
That's great. I mean, I feel for the players because the holdout for some of these guys, that was the only thing that they could do. That was the only leverage that they have is saying, okay, well, I'm just not going to play because I'm not being compensated fairly in this league and for what I do for this team. But it's also nice as a fantasy player and an NFL fan that I don't have to worry about that part of the off season anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, if your players' association is agreeing to terms, you would hope that that $50,000 fine and eliminating holdouts was made up for in another part of that contract or that negotiation that benefits the player. So,
right.
Here's a very interesting question to test the old hype train. Because it's not this year. It's like, no. I mean, you have to go CMC.
Yeah, at this point,
he got paid too. I mean, he got paid big money.
CMC is an outlier.
Here's a real tough question, Mike.
Ooh, Saquon or the tight end that's never finished the season?
Yes. I mean, this is the kind of analysis
the second overall pick or a tight end that's going in like the 6th round.
I think I'm gonna go Saquon on this one.
Yes,
I'm gonna go Saquon, man.
I will take Saquon. All right.
Saquon. Are you confident in Dalvin Cook?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm backing him up. I'm getting insurance with Madison for health reasons because Dalvin Cook also has not finished an NFL season. But when he's on the field, he's elite. He is elite. He's great.
Yep, he is. And they build the offense around him. And they're willing to throw the ball 400 and something times to give him the ball the rest of it. And I think that about does it for this live stream. We will be live again tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be just Jason. I don't know if it'll be Jason and Mike. I don't know if it'll be Brooks. It won't. I know it won't be. It won't be
man.
Brooks.
I will give Brooks $200 to live stream.
Well, be careful. Be careful. We know that the money does move the needle on Brooks.
Not if he had to
not $200 though.
Stare at a camera and talk. Just him.
Oh my gosh. I love you, Brooks.
It'd be worth every dollar.
It would be worth every penny. I mean, maybe that's this year's beach race for Brooksy. See if he can get into the water. He won that, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. So
all
right.
He's tenacious.
Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Appreciate all the questions, and check out the Ultimate Draft Kit as we head into the season. 5 shows a week next week. So if you are not subscribed, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. YouTube, click the bell. Got to get to that 200K mark, Mike.
I'm going to check in. I'm going to check in on it.
Life is about thresholds. I don't know if you knew that. It's all about thresholds.
We got to have goals.
Yeah, that's the key. So 200K. I think we're like 191K. That's not quite enough.
Oh, yeah. Look, if you try to go to youtube.com/fantasyfootballers.com, it doesn't work.
No, that's not how the internet works, Mike.
How the internet works.
AOL keyword fantasy footballers.
All right, we're at 191. We still need another 9. Come on, people.
Get in there, YouTube. And according to Al Borland, who is watching this stream, he is encouraging Brooks to accept a $200 bribe to be the lone man stuck on a podcast.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. You know what would make it worse is we'd have to make him answer only fantasy questions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the fury of fantasy questions.
Brooks is solid. He knows his stuff.
Dante Pettis is the answer. All right, that is it for the Fantasy Footballers live stream for this Thursday. And there is a footcast going up at jointhefoot.com today. Mm-hmm. And we will be back live tomorrow and 5 days a week next week.